And so today I am going to talk about something I encounter a lot, and I hope this is helpful. And primarily this is for the parents of children between the ages of 9 or 10 and 16 or 17. Particularly girls have this problem. And this is what I like to call this age where they have a major serotonin dip. Now, what does that look like? Well, if you have girls of those ages, then you know exactly what that looks like. It looks like complaining. It looks like sudden fits of emotional outbursts that make no sense, and anger and crying and all of that. It can also look like anxiety. It can look like nervousness and upset. Now, it may be more complex than this, but there's something developmentally about this age where, for whatever reason, our serotonin just dips, and we have in our kids, and we don't recognize it as a brain chemistry thing. We think they're ungrateful, they're drama queens. We say all these things, but there is a chemical component to this, and that can be treated with nutrition. Now, you're going to hear me say every show, so if you don't like me saying it over and over again, well, just close your ears for a minute. But we do not live in a world that can give us everything we need without supplementing. It just isn't that way, at least not in the U.S. Can't speak for the whole world, but at least in the U.S. So really every child should be on supplements. They should be on a multivitamin that has a good B in it. They should be on an omega-3. Everybody should be taking some kind of probiotic, whether it's food, kombucha, or a supplement. And everybody should be having something that aids their digestion in a positive, healthy way versus a drug. So all those things are health and nutritional things, but we notice these girls start to dip about this age, and it can look like some of the behaviors I mentioned before. Now, I do, as a practitioner, and I know other practitioners, we have a little bit more a pro line of homeopathics that we help people with in supporting their brain chemistry, but I'm going to talk today about something that's really accessible. I am a doTERRA rep. I'm going to talk about doTERRA oils. You don't have to buy them from me. I'm not trying to sell you any. And actually, if you don't know a doTERRA rep, you can go on doTERRA.com. You can also find these on Amazon. But your best bet is to go look on doTERRA or find a doTERRA rep. So my favorite is wild orange. Oh, that's not it. My favorite for this particular issue for girls this age is wild orange. Now, this has worked for my girls. I've given this to a ton of moms with girls between the ages of 10 or 11 and 16, 17. Usually I have them put a couple drops in their hand, and they just smell it and then rub the orange on their neck, back of their neck, somewhere like that. There's my toes. Yep, I got my shoes off. And so wild orange is my favorite go-to, but not everybody's brain is the same. But wild orange tends to work for the kind of complaining, PMS-y type of symptoms, or the sudden fits of drama and emotional outbursts. Wild orange is good for that. Another similar, you can look at citrus bliss, or lemon, or grapefruit. All the citrusy oils tend to have the same one. We also have one that's a mixture that's called Serenity, and it's for calming. So that's a good one too. And then when we have a little bit more of anxiety issues that are a little more than the emotional drama, where they just have anxiety, nervousness, tension, kind of that hypervigilance, I like a couple of them. I like peppermint, I like thyme, THY, right now to show you, and cedarwood are three of the ones I've tended to have when I muscle test come up more than once for kind of that age group. And I've had a couple of boys that tested well for the cedarwood. So anyway, so just wanted to share those few oils. But one of the things I really want to say is when your kid that age has these kind of uncharacteristic emotional outbursts. And that's really how I discovered it. Is my 11-year-old, this was about 10 years ago before I knew what I know now, was uncharacteristically acting about 3 o'clock every day the same way. And for 6 months, I just thought she was ungrateful. But as it turned out, when I got her onto some kind of serotonin balancing product, the complaining just completely went away, completely disappeared. And I was like, wow, I wish I'd have thought of that 6 months earlier. So I can't tell you how many stories of moms and people I know who have tried some of these remedies for just supporting the brain chemistry at this age, but for whatever reason, their serotonin just can really go haywire in its balancing in this early teen, preteen, and middle teenage. Usually by 17, 18, they kind of outgrow it. But I highly recommend, again, that you keep the nutritional support with the vitamins I mentioned earlier. Everybody needs those from early childhood till the time we die. Those are our basic things that we need. But for just that little bit of kind of erratic behavior we see in those years, and I think particularly girls are infamous for it, it really is something that can be supported. So anyway, there are a few other ones that work, and normally I like to muscle test the client live because it could be something really random that isn't even on the list that works for your kid. But those are kind of tend to be the ones that I see repeatedly come up over and over again. If you have any personal questions or you want to ask specifically for your kid, feel free to PM me, and we can talk more about that. But like I said, your kid doesn't have to go through it, and you don't have to go through it. But you shouldn't have to put up with kids' behavior, especially when it's nutritionally based and it's not really who they are. And it does cause negative things in the relationship. It causes resentment and just kind of not wanting to be around each other, because as parents, we react to our kids when they're being bratty, So we want to love our kids. We want our kids to be delightful, and we just want to be able to recognize what the root cause is of something that's going on and help our kids, give them something that's good for them to help that balance out, and everybody's happier. So have a great day. Look for me Friday or Saturday to continue to talk about my other topic on living a transformed life. Blessings.